Hello everyone, I guess hopefully you guys are having a wonderful day, and today we are here with a comparison video. I used to do a lot of these. I've recently been focusing a lot on my account, but now I can kind of go back through some of the higher level comparisons and even some of the lower and mid level ones that I have missed up until this point. If you have any ideas, leave them down below, but for this video we are going to get on into blood runes and soul runes. Now I understand that this is a pretty high level comparison. You need to have 90 rune crafting to be able to craft souls, so that's when this really matters. And I know that seems really far down the line, and believe me it is, but it's still 60% of the XP overall for rune crafting. So it is important to figure this out, at least for me, and I would imagine for anyone else that is high level. It is quite the question, especially since right now blood runes are up to about 400 GP a pop, while soul runes are 150 almost. So big difference, and that is what we are here to discuss today. And if you want to know what to do for some of the lower levels, if maybe you aren't up to this level yet, I made a little graphic. I mean, for the low levels, like real low levels and kind of the med levels, I would just recommend doing quests that give you rune crafting XP, using your lamps on it, and doing stuff like Tears of Gothics that give you XP as well. That's going to be really, really useful for early game rune crafting since it's pretty bad. And then eventually you can get into the med game stuff, Astrals, Lava Runes, and also ZMI, all three of which are going to be, well, one of them is needed and the other two are going to be greatly aided by Lunar Diplomacy, so gonna have to get that out of the way if you want to start getting into the med game of rune crafting. But that's not what this is about. Those are for the lower levels. As for this video, let's go ahead and get on into the comparison of bloods and souls. We'll be assuming you're going from 90 to 91 on either bloods or souls, and that will be how we do our final full comparison. As far as how I got all of the small stuff that added up to that, we'll go through that now. The first thing I assumed was that you would be using about 204 shards per inventory. This is basically the first inventory of shards that you end up getting along with your second. If you don't know how bloods or souls work, basically you mine one inventory, you crush it up, you come back, mine a second one, and then go to the altar and then use your first inventory, crush, and then use your second inventory, and that's basically it. You get about 204 shards every trip, and that's what you should be working with if you've been here for more than one trip. Your first trip you'll get a little bit more because you don't have as many spaces taken up, but after that, that's what you should be working with. Now I did a bunch of inventories mining the essence and seeing how long that took me, because once you have that down, that's the same no matter if it's bloods or souls, how long you would spend to get those two inventories, and that came out to about 6 minutes and 15 seconds. That was a bunch of different tries, and once I added up that on top of these trip times, it came out to about what XP per hour I was getting, so it made a lot of sense. 6 minutes and 15 seconds is about how long it takes for the two inventories, and then it depends whether or not you want to go to the soul altar or the blood altar, obviously. The blood altar being to the south and the soul being to the east. The soul altar takes about 1:50, while the blood altar takes 1:35, so slightly slower with the soul runes, but you also get more XP, so it's not actually that bad. And given all three of those things, we can find what XP per hour we should be getting, and we can also find the GP per hour and basically everything from that. And I thought it would be much better to just time how long it took me to get the inventories of essence rather than doing XP per hour, because it basically eliminates the variance on both sides and just makes it even. Kind of what we're looking for here in the comparison. So once we have the total times for both trips, we can then find the amount of trips per hour that we should be doing. With bloods, it's 7.5, while with souls, it's a little under at like 7.4. Not that much of a difference, of course, in their times per trip in total for the hour. The runes crafted per hour, as you can see, is a little bit higher for the bloods. This is assuming that you don't have the elite diary done for the Krend area, and you're not getting the extra 10%. If you are, just, obviously add the extra 10%. It'll make a little bit of a difference at the end, of course. The XP per hour here with bloods came out to about 37k XP per hour, while with souls it was closer to 45k. Now these are assuming you're pretty focused, of course, but those are the rates we have to work with to know what we're doing. And then GP per hour with the runes that we are given earlier comes out to 612k for bloods and 218k for souls, which is obviously the big difference that we're talking about here, almost 400k per hour with a pretty negligible amount of XP difference. So that's where the comparison comes in, and that's where we can get our numbers for 99. So if you were to do blood runes from level 90 to 99, that would take 7.688 mil XP in total, which is obviously a pretty decent bit. The amount of hours that comes out to is 207.7, and the profit that you'll get is 127 mil. So that is quite a lot of profit. and obviously a lot of hours too, but that's runecrafting for you, especially in an AFK sense of it. And then moving on to souls, if you were to do that from 90 to 99, you would spend 170.8 hours, which is 36.9 hours less, and you would only profit 37.2 mil, which is obviously a big difference at 89.8 mil. So what that means is if you were to do the faster soul rune method, as we just said, you would end up saving yourself 37 hours basically at the cost of almost 90 mil that you wouldn't be making, which, putting that together, means that you're evaluating your hour to be worth about 2.43 mil or close to 2.5 mil. So if you can make more than 2.5 mil an hour, that means that your time would be better spent doing the fast soul rune method, and then the extra hours that you saved, go put that towards whatever is better than 2.5 mil an hour. You know, something like maybe Zora, if you do that at a good pace, same with the Vorkath, raids, and, you know, other methods in there depending on what you do. And if you cannot make more than 2.5 mil an hour, then it's probably going to be better for you to go ahead and do bloods, because it's going to add a lot of money to your bank, and I mean, it'll just take a little bit more time, but you know, if it ends up raising your bank that much, it's going to be worth it, I guess. So now that's like the simple answer of what you could get. There are some factors, as I said earlier. There's the Karen Elite boost, which is going to boost your runes 10% overall, which would mean I would probably take this to like 2.8 mil difference, you know, something like that. As far as GP per hour, maybe making this a little bit higher, but still I don't think affecting it that much. And also you can run through the Abyss to both of these altars, and that is quicker. However, it's a lot more intense, and you know, I just figure if you're doing souls or bloods, you really don't want an intense runecrafting method. So if you're gonna do the Abyss running, I would probably just say do lavas, because you may as well, but I don't know. That's up to each person, of course, and you know, I can't put a number on that. So, and also in the future, if blood rune prices go down to say maybe what they used to be, like 350 to maybe 300 GP each, I'd imagine that would bring the overall GP per hour needed to probably like 1.5 mil to 2 mil, depending on how low they go. So just so this video might not be entirely irrelevant if blood rune prices crash, we should be good. If you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like. Anything you want to tell me or anything you want me to do a comparison on in the future, let me know down below in a comment. And if you want to see more videos like this as soon as they go live, make sure to hit that subscribe. With that said, hopefully you guys have a wonderful day, and deuces.